Good afternoon. As you know, our world is making some very fast and fluid decisions to the unfolding scope of the coronavirus. Here in the LA County, they've been asking us to stop all gathering of 10 people or more. Here at Long Beach First, it takes more than 10 people to run the behind the scenes part of our services. While we trust God, we also find ourselves in a place of being obedient. With this in mind, we're canceling all of our physical services and we'll be moving to online and virtual services. Listen, while we trust God, we also know that Paul tells us in Hebrews 13:17, have confidence in your leadership and submit to their authority because they keep watch over you as those who must give an account. Do this so that the work will be joy, not burden, for the would be no benefit to you. So we're supposed to submit to our leadership, and that's not just here in this office or here in this church. God puts government above us, He puts civic leaders above us, and as people of faith, we are called to be obedient. So we found ourselves in a position of being obedient. Now, this may sound disheartening to many, and I get it. This is probably the hardest decision I've had to make as a pastor. I've always grown up believing that if there's one person who wants to come to church, they shouldn't shut the doors. And now I'm to the place where I've had to make the decision, along with the church board and other leadership, to close down our church physically. Please understand when I say that, physically. The decision, however, is not fear-based. After all, we are people of faith, and the decision was about concern for our people and for the people of our community, and especially for the people at risk. Now, these are unprecedented times. Our understanding of this virus is limited. And what we do know in times like this, we have a rare opportunity for the church to come alive, to work together in our community and to curtail the spread of this virus. Because of our calling is a calling of love, and to not only love God, but to love ourselves, love our neighbors, the people across the street, people across the town. Every place is a mission field when you look at it. This past Saturday afternoon, myself, the church board, finance committee, and the church staff and I met for a couple hours for getting some direction. And we decided this past Sunday that we were going to go ahead and have church service as usual. But we've now come to the time, because Orange County is stopping all private groups, LA County 10 or less, we need to find ourselves in obedience. So we are closing our physical church doors, but just understand we're opening up other doors of opportunity that I think is going to lend well for the season that we are living in. So what we want you to know right now is just a couple things. First, the church office. The church office is still open. I'm going to be here every day, and I'm going to have a limited amount of staff here every day. We need to answer the phone. We still need to receive the mail, send out bills, pay bills, different things like that. But we do ask, don't flood our office with different things. Feel free to call in. Feel free to email when it's needed. But don't reach out to us for every little detail on the coronavirus. That is going to be the best option is through the CDC. But we are here. If you are in need, if you need to email us, if you need some eggs, you need some bread, some butter, some toilet paper, and you can't get out, feel free to email us or call us. I will be glad to personally get out and do everything I can, as well as we are putting together an emergency response team to go out and do the same. The second thing I ask is keep communication open. We're going to be increasing our communication during this time. We're not limiting it. Just because we are physically limiting does not mean we're limiting. Matter of fact, you're going to find we're going to have a much more online presence than you've ever seen. The other thing, it's great. Call one another. Talk to each other. One of the things that is welcomed is get out of your house. Go for a walk. If you have a spouse and kids, go for a walk. Go to around the block. Get some exercise. Don't be cooped up. But also, we do have quite a few people who are shut in, and they need people to call them just to see how they're doing, so they don't feel imprisoned in their apartment or their home. And so because everybody has a phone, feel free to reach out and give them a call. Remind them that you care about them and you're concerned about them. The other thing is we need connection, right? Listen, we're ramping up stuff, and one of the things we're going to talk about is what does the church look like this Sunday in the weeks to come? We're going to talk about that here in a few minutes, but again, connection is important. Paul says, do not forsake the assembly. And we're not going to forsake the assembly. We're just going to make it look a whole lot different, but we are still going to be meeting. The fourth thing I said is to protect yourself and your family. Take precautions. Do not take this lightly. It is very important. And while a large majority of the people may get a little bit of a cough and sniffles, realize while you're okay, our carelessness could cost someone their life or major sickness that can affect them for weeks, and we don't want to do that. Please do not rely on social media or anything else for the grapevine of information, right? The CDC is the best source of reliable information. So with that, what's the best thing we can do right now? I believe there are some absolute things we could do right now that's best for this. Please remember this. God loves you. So do I. So does your pastoral staff, your church staff, your leaders, and your church family. You are highly loved. The coronavirus cannot take away our love for each other. So remind yourself that you are loved. Call someone. Remind them they're loved. Maybe the biggest thing I can ask right now is pray. Don't panic. Prayer works. We're people of faith. We believe in prayer and fasting. Matter of fact, I was just talking with someone and like, Pastor, I'm going to be fasting during lunch and praying for people. That's a great thing. Pray for your family. Pray for your friends. Pray for our church and its leadership. But pray for our hospitals, right? Pray for our medical workers. I know I was talking to my niece, Carrie Ann, yesterday. She's a nurse in Tennessee. And there's a lot of burden on our healthcare workers, our first responders. Please take the time and pray for them. While we may feel closed in, they're being pulled in every direction. So I believe now more than ever, we need to be caring for those we're going to rely on to care for us. The other thing, though, is don't let panic begin in your life. I'm hearing some horrible, if not almost evil things. Instead of putting out good words of faith and prayer, I hear bad things like, this is God's will. Listen, this is not God's will. This is a result of us putting growth hormones and other chemicals in our food and us digesting this. Listen, these viruses and these cancers are never God's will. Matter of fact, He hates them more than us. He's broken about what we are doing to ourselves, right? So please do not say horrible religious stuff like this is God's will. Now, I can see God at work in this, but this was definitely not God's will. This is not God's punishment on mankind. None of that. It's also not an attack on the church. I mean, that sounds arrogant to say it's an attack on the church. And, it's like saying, well, it's an attack on the NBA. Maybe it's an attack on Major League Baseball or basketball or movie theaters or the local pizza parlor around the corner. We're all in this together. This is not an attack on the church. Again, humanity, we got to take some responsibilities for what we're doing. And this is one of them. And please also don't go around telling everybody the government's trying to control us and martial law. That's wrong as well. That's not true at all. I ask that you also not be the expert of information. As I said a few minutes ago, the CDC is the best place to get your information, not from your political news channels, not off these off-the-cuff social media outlets. The CDC is the best place to get information. And you don't have to be the expert to everybody you know about the information. What you need to be is a person of faith and prayer and a person of love, reminding people, I don't have all the answers, but I know God is with us and He's going to see us through this. And He's broken over this. And I love you. And I'm praying for you. I'm praying not only for our nation, I'm praying for the world. The other thing I ask is remember our world. Remember our families. Remember our neighbors. They're watching what you and I as Christians do right now. And the way we act and the way we react is going to be our witness. Please be good representation of Christ in our world. The third thing is this. Stay united. A pandemic is disruptive, but it doesn't have to be decisive. There are no right or wrongs right now. We're all doing the best we can. Will we make mistakes? Sure. We just pray we make more positive mistakes than negative. And everybody, I believe, from the top down, is doing the best that they can. So spread unity, not criticism. It's easy to stand from a distance after the fact and make decisions. That's not what we do as people of faith, let alone humanity. We're to be encouragers of everyone, every race, every creed, every religion, every part of the world. We need to work together in this. Which leads me to the fifth thing. I think we need to stay positive. A virus is contagious, but so is fear. Listen, spread faith, not fear. Share Jesus, not your germs. Stay positive. Fifth thing is just remember, this won't last forever. Jesus is alive and well. Our world has been through horrible things. We've been through world wars, we've been through plagues, and we're going to get through this as well. But it's how we get through it. So just remember, this isn't forever. Now, the sixth thing is, please remember the church is just not the place that we meet here. We can go out from here and have church, and that's what we're going to be asking you to do as the Bible tells us to do. The Bible calls us to be the church for each other. So here's some of the things we're going to be doing is one, we're still going to be broadcasting our 9 o'clock traditional service in a traditional format. We're going to be broadcasting our 11 o'clock contemporary service in a contemporary format. I think Pastor Ramon's going to be doing 12 o'clock Spanish service. Saturday nights at 7, Pastor Oni in Filipino. Here's what we ask. Start a home church. Invite some friends and family over in groups of 10 or less because we're going to be obedient. And during those times, have church. Remember, the Acts 2 church is started in our homes. I think now is a time of revival can happen if you call people to your home in small groups, maybe at 9 o'clock, have your coffee and donuts and share the traditional service. Or maybe at 11 o'clock, have some pizza and Mountain Dew. I know that's one of my favorites. And worship at 11 o'clock or at noon in Spanish or this and that. I think we need this connection to come together. And so groups of 10 or less is a great thing to do. We want to encourage everyone to do that. Whether you belong to Long Beach First Church or no church or some other parish somewhere else, home churches are a great thing. And we want to encourage you to do that. The other thing we want to do is now's the time where we have purchased curriculum for small groups. If you would like to start a small group, we want to encourage you to do that as well. If you will email me or call me and say, Pastor, I want to start a small group, I would love to walk you through what it takes to do that. Again, here in the office, we have the curriculum right here. I ordered a great amount of workbooks and books. This workbook and book will take a year to get through, so you don't have to worry about looking for new stuff every month. Really, really important. I want you to hear this. If you've lost your income, I would like you to suspend your tithing now. I want you to spend it. You may have some dark days coming, and we want to make sure that you're being good stewards with what you have. You know, if your money or your income is still secured, we would like you to continue to tithe. Believe it or not, this could be financially devastating to your local church. Whether you mail in your tithe check or if you give on one of our social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any of those, go ahead and continue to tithe, but I'll ask you if you would just give a little more. I'm asking you to give a little more because there are those who've lost their income. And while they may be able to sign up for unemployment, realize the unemployment agency is absolutely flooded right now. Not only here in California, but throughout the country. Some of these people may get unemployment, but it could be months from now. And our church has a responsibility. Your church has a responsibility to be there for those who are in need. Remember, read about the Acts 2 church. So while you're okay, other people may be needing eggs or butter or milk or even toilet paper because people are hoarding it. We've got 2 brand new babies in our church. There's even a shortage on formula. So if you have the ability to give a little more so we could share more with those who are in need, that's actually being the church. And we want to encourage that to be part of who we are. Listen, if you're in the age bracket and you have a compromised immune system, here's what I ask. Email me, call me. And so these extras that are giving, myself or part of the emergency response team will go pick these up, wipe them down, and deliver them to your door. It's really easy. Get out a pen and paper. I'm going to give you my personal private cell phone. It's 562-546-9945. That's not the church's number. That is 100% my private cell number, 562-546-9945. Please don't spam me, okay? Let's just keep this to those who are in need, or if you would like to volunteer. You can also email me at brad.paradee@yahoo.com with maybe a shopping list or things that are needed, laundry detergent, who knows what you need. But we want to make sure that you are taken care of if you're locked in. We also want to make sure that you are taken care of just in case you've lost your employment. That could even be getting your oil changed, your tires rotated, or gas, or anything else your car may need. Listen, church, it's our time to shine in desperate times. We need each other. God is there for us, and we need God. Listen, you and I need to be light in moments of darkness. So, church, this is the time where you show that you're not religious, that you're just not a churchgoer. You show that your faith is alive and well. Listen, be contagious with hope and with love and excitement that things are going to be okay. A lot of depression could sink in. We need to spread the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ, and that they haven't forgotten us. Listen, if you have any questions, you've already got my cell phone and you got my email. I'll take a call any time of day, even in the middle of the night, if you just need words of encouragement or prayer. But most of all, as I always say, God loves you. So do I. And so does your church family and the people around you. Don't forget to reach out for help if you're in need of help. Don't let your pride hurt you. Let your hope revive you. Hope in humanity and for each other. Listen, God bless. And I'm going to see you very soon right here online. I'll see you soon. Thank you.